Hello everyone and welcome to this video. This is kind of a strange one. It's really just a mix of clips from the last several months. It's mostly me sketching and painting in my sketchbook and chatting, and I think there's a Michael's haul at some point. Prior to this video, we were in Thailand for 3 weeks in February, and before we went to Thailand, we had started the process of buying a house and ended up deciding on a house actually while we were in Thailand. And by the time we got back home, we were in the thick of buying this house. We were doing the paperwork and everything. This house had not been set up very well. It wasn't staged very well. It wasn't cleaned very well. And I think that's why we were able to get an actually decent deal on it. It really just needed a little TLC, but that did mean spending several weekends just going and sweeping and mopping and treating the floors because they are hardwood floors. It's a nice house. I don't know, it felt a little bit lazy the way that they had staged it, and so I think that worked out in our favor. I think it also worked out that they listed it in the winter time, because now that spring and summer have passed, as I'm doing this voiceover, we've discovered that we have many fruit trees, and some of these trees are really pretty and they flower, and with a little work on landscaping, I think our yard will look really nice. I worked a lot on it this summer, and so a lot of my time has been spent doing stuff with this house and not so much on making art. I was trying to record what I could when I could, but it was kind of just scarce little moments here and there where I had some inspiration to do a little drawing or painting or needed to desperately get something ready for a street fair. At the time of filming this clip, I had decided that I was going to try to spend at least an hour on the weekends in a sketchbook, even if I didn't make anything beautiful. I just really wanted to get back in the habit of creating, and that worked out for a couple weeks, and then I got pregnant. And while we were really excited, the first trimester was honestly kind of rough. I didn't have the worst morning sickness in the world. I have a friend who I think was far worse off than I was, but it was still kind of miserable. I was nauseous and it was just generally hard to eat, and I was so tired all the time that I really just didn't want to do anything. And I kind of felt, I should probably just let my body rest. As much as I want to be productive and get stuff done, there is a point at which you do need to prioritize your own physical and mental health. So that became a priority over creating art, which is part of why I've been so absent over this last year. During 2025, I'm hoping to be able to focus more on my Etsy shop and maybe do a couple shop updates, but I also know that I will be having a baby in a couple months here, and so realistically, I just don't know how much time I'll have or realistically what I'll be able to manage, but I do know I won't be doing any in-person events for probably the next year or two, so I would like to try to focus on online stuff, so posting on YouTube and Instagram and trying to really prioritize my Etsy shop will be my main priorities. I don't think it will be hard to post on YouTube more than I did last year because I only posted twice, which is kind of sad, but like I said, art wasn't really my priority when it came to the travel we were doing and buying a house and then getting pregnant. I just had other stuff that I needed to prioritize at the time. And now with baby on the way, I am spending a lot of my time getting the nursery ready and painting that room and building furniture and baby-proofing the house and all of the stuff that comes with that. There's also so many appointments, it's insane. But I am hoping to keep up my creativity. I think my creativity has just kind of morphed from doing paintings and drawings to knitting lately. So my next video might be about all my knitting projects. I bought a book from Michael's and have been doing a lot of baby knitting stuff for the baby, little toys, clothes, etc. I just feel like it's a fun way to kind of prepare for the baby. It's not really necessary, but it allows me to be creative and also feel like I am being somewhat productive at the same time. And I can do it while I sit on the couch on those days where I am exhausted and don't feel like doing anything else. So anyway, I hope you enjoy this kind of strange, chatty video, and hopefully there will be more videos in the future. But if I don't post much, you know why. I just did this little painting. I did it in a sketchbook because I didn't want to feel pressure to make it a masterpiece. I feel like sometimes if I do it on an actual like piece of paper, there's more pressure than in a sketchbook that I already kind of hate. I don't like most of the things I have in here, and so the pressure was pretty low to make this painting. To be honest, do I like this painting? I like aspects of it, and there's parts of it that I don't love. I think the background is maybe a little bit too busy. I think it would have looked nice if there was less going on. But I really like the way that this bush and the trees turned out. I really love that. This was done based off of a picture that I took while we were in Thailand. It was really interesting while we were there because there were so many telephone lines everywhere. Like, I've never seen this many telephone lines in one area before, and they would just be like woven between trees. There'd be vines growing on them and all this stuff, and it was almost like a dystopian feel. It was very strange but kind of cool at the same time. Okay, so I went to Michael's. I did not need to go to Michael's, but I was running other errands and there was a Michael's in that parking lot, and I decided, you know what, I'm just going to go in and look, see if there's any good deals. There probably isn't. I'll probably go in, look, and not buy anything. And I was very wrong. So I have a little haul to share with you all. So I looked around, didn't see anything fabulous, and then I looked at the clearance section and I was like, oh, that's quite large. Let me see if there's anything good on clearance. And there was a bunch of paint, and so I was like, you know what, I just need to get some. So the first thing that I saw was actually these Daler Rowney Primatech extra fine watercolors. So I got 2 of them because they're on sale for $12 and they're normally $29.99. So I saved like 18 bucks on these, over half off. The first color I got was this Zoisite Genuine. It just looks like this really nice, like dark green. I'm excited to see how that looks on paper. And then I got this Kyanite Genuine, and it's just like this nice blue color. I thought it was really pretty. They had other colors as well, but it was mostly like deep reds and browns and stuff, and I just wasn't as drawn to those colors, and I bought a lot of other paints, so I limited myself on these ones because they were a little bit spendier. $12 though, a good deal. So where I really took a lot of time trying to debate what to get was when I saw Winsor & Newton water mixable oil colors, and I've been wanting to try these for a while because I feel like I could like oil paint because it dries so slowly that it gives you more time to work. I don't know, it's something I haven't really played around with too much, except when I was a kid. Ironically, my grandparents got me oil paints, probably not the nicest ones, and I played around with them, but I didn't know anything at the time about mixing them with different like mediums or anything, and I didn't know what I was doing, so I really want to try them again now, but the fumes and just like the hazard of working with them has kind of scared me. So I've heard water mixable oil colors are kind of a good alternative to get started into it with less risk, I guess. So I got several colors. They had a lot of options and I did not buy every color they had. At first I was like, oh, I'm gonna buy every color they had because there were only 3. And then there was a whole other bin of them later. So that did not happen. But I decided I should at least get primaries. So I got a phthalo blue, a cadmium red, and a cadmium yellow hue. And I don't really know much about these paints, so let me know what the difference between a hue and a shade is, because I have the phthalo blue red shade, which I'm assuming just means it's a little bit warmer than if it was a blue shade. I'm not really sure. And then some of these are hues, and I don't know if that's just the component that goes into them to actually make the paint. I don't know. I kind of want to do some research because I'm curious. And then I got some other colors that I just thought might be nice to have. So I got Raw Sienna, which I like to prime my paper with colors like this before I do an actual painting, so I thought this might be nice. And then I got this Viridian just because I thought it was kind of a unique, nice color, and I don't think it's one that I could mix myself very easily. Then I got this cerulean blue hue. I just thought it was pretty. This Naples yellow hue. And part of my thinking for this was that it seems like it might be a really nice light color, and I don't have any white. But then I was reading online that sometimes you can mix these with acrylic paints as well. So I might experiment with mixing one of my white acrylic paints in with these and see what happens. And then I got this cadmium red light, which I just thought was a really pretty color. So I'm looking forward to experimenting with these. I've never worked with them before, so I'm a little scared, but I think it'll be fun. And then to go with that, I also did buy some linseed oil. I got the Winsor & Newton one because it says specifically water mixable oil color medium. And I was reading online that a lot of times people prefer to use something like this than mixing with color and then mixing with water. And then they'll just do cleanup with water. So I'm curious to try this. I'll probably do a combination of this and water just to kind of see what happens, because I don't know. We're just gonna experiment, right? And then I also got this mild liner, which isn't that exciting. I have this color right now and I've been using it and it's basically dry. So I just figured, well, it's at Michael's, why not buy another one? For reference, the water mixable oil colors were originally $10.99 and I got them for $5. So I saved basically $6 a piece. So when you do the math, I feel like I got a pretty good deal. So doing the math, I don't know where my receipt went, but after tax, I spent a little under $100, but I saved $84. So I think my pre-tax number was about the same as my savings. And that's including the fact that I bought linseed oil, which was not on sale. I just thought it might be nice to have. So I'm excited to get into these and play with them. I don't know if I've talked about it at all this vlog yet, but I am trying. I'm not necessarily successful, but I am trying to do an hour a week of at least sketching or painting or just doing something in a sketchbook, something that I'm not intending to sell or make a product out of it. I just want something that feels low risk and experimental and like it can be ugly and I just don't want to have pressure around it. And I know an hour a week probably isn't that much, especially compared to some other artists, but I do some volunteer stuff and I do have a job, and so I feel like realistically that's what I can do and also still hopefully be able to work on some other projects and work on creating new products as well. To be honest, I've had some issues lately where I've just been really tired and had a hard time doing any art at all. So if all I do is an hour of sketching or an hour of sketchbook work a week, I think it's better than nothing. But I am trying, I really need to finish designing a new desk mat before I do Geek Girl Con in November. And realistically, I need to finish that within the next week so that the manufacturer has enough time to make it and get it shipped to me, because it does come from China, and so it can take quite a while. But at the same time, I, for some reason, don't have a lot of motivation to work on it. Like, I like the way that it's turning out. I'm just having a hard time sitting down and doing it. And so that's something hopefully I'll be working on this week, because I just really need to get it done. But I think for the sake of my mental health and my art practice, having some time every week to work on stuff and just have fun with it and not feel stressed and not have pressure for it to be amazing is important. So hopefully I'll have at least a few sketch sessions in this vlog. I'm sorry if it's maybe a little sketchbook heavy, but that's just kind of how my life is right now. And I'm trying to get back into vlogging and making vlogs because I think it's fun to make and I really like watching other artists. But a lot of times I feel like I definitely have imposter syndrome, you know. I'm not a full-time artist, and I feel like the art that I create isn't necessarily amazing, you know. And so sometimes it is difficult to want to post it because I feel like I am proud of what I do, and then I look at other artists and then I'm like, wow, it's really not that good. So that's where I'm at right now. But I think I'm gonna spend some time right now in my sketchbook. I do have some other things I need to do today, some cleaning or whatever, but I'm just really excited to test these new paints. So that said, I'm gonna turn the camera off, maybe switch up the angle so you can see me test these paints out. So unfortunately, my camera decided it wasn't going to film this whole process, but I figured I'd throw in the few clips that I did have. Unfortunately, all you get to see is the swatching and not me painting an actual image. I will say I did enjoy playing around with the water mixable oil paints. It was such a weird feeling after using mostly acrylics that dry relatively fast to have the oils just take forever to dry. I think I came back after a couple days and touched it to try to see if it was dry, and it was not. But it was like mostly dry. I don't remember exactly how long it took, but it took a hot minute. And I appreciated that it allowed me to get kind of a smooth gradient on the strawberry that I did, and I was able to really play with it before it dried too fast. But it was a little bit annoying to let it have to sit for like 2 weeks or something like that before it fully dried. So I will be playing with this more. I just need to make sure I have a good setup so that I can set it somewhere for it to dry, and somewhere that my cats ideally aren't going to get into it. Today is my birthday, and so I thought I would do a little bit of filming. I took the day off work because today is a Monday and I did not want to go to work on my birthday, but mine and my husband's deal is if our birthday is on a weekday and the other person has to work that day, we'll get up early in the morning with them and open the gift first thing in the morning. And I'm really glad I did that because my gift is something that I'm going to want to play with and potentially use today. And if I opened it right before bed, I would be a little disappointed and probably have to wait till the weekend to really mess with it much. So I am going to unbox this. I probably won't really film it much, but I'll show you once it's all set up. But he got me an embroidery slash sewing machine. This is something I've kind of been wanting for a little bit, just because I think it'd be really cool to do on like sweaters or hats or whatever. The heat transfer vinyl works well for certain things, but I really like the look of embroidery. So I'm about to start unboxing it. It's only like 6 a.m. right now. It's pretty early, so I might take a nap later, but I'm just excited to get all of this out and figure out how it works. He also bought me a bunch of thread, so I should be able to actually work on stuff today. I may go out to a thrift store and see if I can find some like blank t-shirts or sweaters or something though, so I can work on some projects.
I like that. It's good. Just don't need a real burger, you know? That'll really throw you off.
Okay, I did one little test embroidery, and I think it actually worked really well. It did take me about 2 hours to get to this point, because I needed to learn how to thread the bobbin, put the bobbin in here, and then thread this whole thing, and then obviously select the settings and stuff on here. It's really not that hard to do. It's just trying to follow all the instructions from the manual did take a bit of time, and the manual's about 100 pages. I skipped the whole section on sewing because I'm just working on embroidery right now, but I'll probably go over that at some point when I do a sewing project. But I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. Technically, you're supposed to have, I forgot what it's called, but there's like a fabric or something that you're supposed to iron on before you do the embroidery that helps prevent, like, you know, this warping that's kind of happening to the fabric. So I think I'm going to run out today regardless, to a Starbucks because I want to get my free Starbucks drink, and there's a Michael's in that same parking lot. So I'm going to stop by Michael's and see if they have the fabric so I can work on some projects. And I want to see about transferring my own designs to the machine and see if I can do that. We'll see. Yeah, I'm excited to do some more stuff with this. Alrighty, so this is the end of this video. I hope I'll have some more cohesive videos coming up this year, but again, we will see with a baby coming how much I'll be able to realistically do. But I figured I would show one little project that I did in November, December. I help with my church children's choir, and we did a little skit play thing with some songs, and one of the songs included a donkey that they were walking across stage. So I used cardboard and some little stones and rope and yarn to make this donkey. I think it turned out really cute, and I did leave it at the church because I did not want to store it at home. It's actually quite large. So I didn't really know what I would do with it, but maybe in the future someone will have a purpose for it. And it was, again, kind of just a fun thing to do creatively, but very different from what I would typically be doing. Anyway, that is what I've been up to the last several months. Hopefully I will continue to make art or knit or do something creative. I don't think I could ever completely remove creativity from my life. I think I will always find a way to use it in some way or another. So that said, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!